Building teams is a very essential thing to do, whether you are working in the front line, whether you're working from the office, the admin side, or whether you're working in the field. It is important. And one of the things that I have learned in my years of doing and working with teams is one of the things is communication. Communication is a very, very important skill for us to have. Even me, even you, even your team, even our team, communication is very important. So I want to talk about one of the things that happened a couple of years ago. My brother always says that 6 and 9 are not the same thing, depending where you're standing from. But if you look on the other side, they might look like the same. Have you ever been in a team and communication is not there? Well, yes, it's there, but it's not really there. Today, we're going to dive deep and talk more about communication and some of the things that you can do as you're communicating. When I was in school, my teacher always to tell me to use these two things. And the first thing in communication is to listen. Listen to what people are saying, to listen to what you are even saying for you to go ahead. Communication happens on the listener's terms. If you're not listening to your people, a lot of things might happen. If you're not listening, a lot of things might happen. One of my mentor always talks about how conflict can happen because two people are not just listening. And if you're a couple, you'll know this, that a lot of things hinges on communication. So a couple of years ago, there was a flight. There was an aeroplane that, you know, it used to it is prime. It is prime, and one of the things that then happened because of that is they started producing more planes and producing more planes and producing more planes. But it got to a point where people died. People died, and people started investigating. But mind you, believe you me, people in the company were already talking about it. So if you look around, there's an issue. There was a story that came out about the 737 Boeing. It was this huge, amazing airplane that would ferry people, and it kept on falling and it kept on, crashing, and people died. And upon their discovering and upon their finding out with the cause of it, they realized that people in the organization were talking. And so one of the things that then happened as they were investigating and trying to reassimilate, how the plane was crashing and all that, they started looking in the employees' emailing system. And one of the employees, they were having a conversation and they were asking each other, can you trust your family? Or rather, in fact, they actually said, can you allow your family to go on the Boeing 737? And one of the people say, no, I will not. I do not trust the plane. And the interesting thing is, one of the employees said, the plane is being built by clowns. And those clowns are being punished by monkeys. I'm sorry for laughing, but this is so interesting. These were the same people who were working for this organization, and they said this. So it was already happening in the organization that people were already communicating, but not to the high office. Or maybe the high office was not listening, but communication was happening. So because of this, people were communicating that these flights were not ready to be on the market, these flights and this and this and this, but they did not listen. So what happens is when we do not communicate, or when you do not communicate, the impact comes back to the organization. The impact comes back to the team because it will cost the team, it will cost the organization. Ladies and gentlemen, communication is important. Where two or three are there is need of communicating. Imagine if you have conflict with yourself when it comes to communication, what more if there is someone else? So if you want to improve your team, if you want to make a difference in your team and produce a highly effective team, you need to learn to communicate. And even as you are becoming a highly effective team, increase your level of communication. Just sending an email is not enough, but you need to also then follow up with a phone call if possible. So communication has so many levels. At the level that you are, it has a vast, it varies. Some organizations communicate via mail, some via calls, some they require to have physical conversations. But it's important that we understand how we communicate as a team. We need to understand our language as a team. We need to listen to each other as a team so that we go forward. So communication is not just by one person, but by everyone. If everyone communicates, it makes life easy. And remember, communication is a two-way street. It's just like when you answer your phone. When you say hello, you will keep quiet and then the next person will answer. And when they are done answering, they'll keep quiet and you will speak. So remember, communication is a two-way street that you and I need to understand and walk in. Building teams is not easy, but it is possible when there's a lot of communication, when there is sound communication. Remember, 6 and 9, they are different. They are not the same. 9 and 6, totally different, though they look the same. So, ladies and gentlemen, from the team building coach, remember, communication is important. If it's up to you, then do it.